I forgot to do my story time of my experience when I went to get my hair braided, since my hair been short. So I did blow dry my hair, and it looks like I had about maybe 2 to 3 inches of hair since I did the big chop. So I was able to, I'll add a clip showing you how long my hair was, be able to determine that my hair was long enough for me to get braids. So I went to the second location. I will say that I usually go to the I've been to the second location to get it done first, and then I went to the first location where the OGs are, which I should have went back there, but I went to the second location. As soon as I went into the second location, Billy told me to come with her to their third location. So all of them are off of American Way, but the second and third location is in the same shopping center. So she walked me down to the third location. So I told her what I wanted. I asked her, was my hair long enough? She said it is still short, but it's grippable, and I basically can get box braids, which I already had in mind that I was going to get box braids because I didn't want to get knotless braids and my hair slide out because it is still short. So I would say my hair is probably about this long. But like I said, I am going to add the clip. So she went to go and get a lady, and so she started explaining in her language what. So she started explaining to the lady what I wanted. I observed, I pay attention to everything. So I started looking at the lady's face, and she didn't look so sure, like she could do it. And so I asked her, I was like, do you think you can do this before you start? And the reason I was more so asking that question is because I'm used to being charged more when my hair was long, but I didn't know if they charge you more when your hair is short. So Billy did tell me that my price is going to be $350. Usually I'm used to paying $200 waist length, but this time she told me it was going to be $350 because my hair was short. And I was like, okay. It was kind of different because I'm like, that's a little, I'm not used to that price, but I really wanted my hair braided. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna suck it up. I'm gonna pay the $350. So I asked the lady, I was like, are you comfortable with doing my hair? Do you think you can do it? She's like, oh yeah, I got it. So she started to do the back of my hair. And so I was just kind of looking in the mirror because this time they had me, this was different too. They had me looking towards the mirror instead of away from the mirror where I usually use my phone to look at the back of my hair. So I was like, okay, this experience is a little different than what I'm used to. Then they had another lady, which she's an OG. I remember her. She's really good. She did the sides of my hair on this side. So I was able to see what she doing. And I was loving what she was doing. I was like, cool. So then I noticed something different also. Usually, now I will say this, at Billy Braids, you do have to pay for your hair, your service before they're done. I will say usually they do a lot more of your hair. All of my other experience, even when I took one of my daughters and the other probably 3 or 4 times that I went, my hair was just about, it was a good amount done. But the lady in the back only did about 10 braids. And this time, instead of, when they braid going across, she was braiding going up. It was just different. And I was just like, what is she doing? I will say this is my first time ever seeing her there. Like I said, I've been there probably like 5 times or so. I don't know the exact time because I also been there with my daughter as well with her getting her hair done, but I never saw this lady before. So another guy other than Omar came over to me and he was like, you got to pay. So I'm like, okay. So as I'm going up to the register where they want me to pay it, I said, Billy was over there as well. And I said, y'all got a mirror? And they were kind of like looking. I would say that also. Every other time they would offer me a mirror. I didn't even have to ask, even though I was going to ask. They would give me a mirror to show me the work in the back and ask me, do I like it? They would even let me either part my middle part or say, do you like this part? This whole experience was different. So I was like, okay, this is a little different here. So I asked for a mirror. And so they were kind of like looking at each other. And then after so long, Billy took a picture of the back of my hair to let me see it. When she showed me the picture, I paid for small box braids. That part was medium. It wasn't straight. It was like a lot of crooked stuff. You know how they do the free? I'm trying to think. The free part where you kind of like grip hair and just start braiding it. It wasn't like a straight square. It was just like she just gripped some hair. On top of that, it might be hard to tell, but although my hair is short, it's still not short enough that she wasn't able to grip all of the hair. Some of these back here, I have a large amount of my hair that is sticking out. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, what's this? Like, I said, Billy, I said, that's not small. Those parts not straight. I don't like that. And so she was like, I already got on her, or she said something to that nature, like I already got on her, or she already did something. So it must was something she already saw. And she must have said something to her in their language. So I'm kind of like looking because I'm like, okay, so like, how are we going to fix this? And then I did notice that when he asked, the other guy asked me too, like, are you okay with the service? I said, well, not so far. I'm not okay with those parts. Like, what are we going to do about that or whatever? So he ended up, I guess they decided to take off $50. I'm going to be honest. I pay for what I like and what I want. I would rather them had kept the extra 50, took those little 10 or how many of braids down and did it correctly. So I'm going to be sad. I was grateful they took it off. And another thing I'm grateful for is that it was all the way in the back because there will probably be no time where people will see those because I usually have my hair down, all the way down or half up, half down. I probably won't wear it all up. So it was still kind of like, I don't know how I feel about this. So I was just like, you know what? I want my hair done today. I'm gonna just suck it up. And so she had to say something to her because the lady was kind of like, she was asking somebody else. Like, they were saying little different stuff. So I know me, I was like, I don't need my flesh to rise up. And you just really don't play with people in your hair anyway. You don't need to be getting nobody mad at you when they're in your hair. This is something my grandma always told me. Don't let nobody that don't like you or mad at you or something like that get in your head. I don't know the meaning to that, but I'm still sticking to it. So I was just like, I just prayed under my voice, like, okay. Like, and so I ended up getting my answer on what I had to do. And so they're braiding my hair. And so the lady that was in the front, I guess she was talking her language, telling her what was going on. And the lady in the front, she said, you don't like it? And I said, no, I like what you're doing. What you're doing is fine. It's neat. I like it. I said, I just want this to match this back here. And so I said, if she could just, for the rest of it, just make sure that all the parts are neat and small, just like yours, I'll be fine. And so I think she did tell her that, she told her that in their language or whatever. So, I was just praying. Then I just ended up getting a little settled, like, okay, as long as the rest of them are good, then we'll be good. So I guess, well, I do know after that, the other row, she was being a little bit more cautious and was doing the other parts neater. She was able to get it right because the other braiders started coming over and they was looking at it. I will say this, usually when there's a new person, that's when I noticed that they'll start coming over, like affirming them, like, oh, that's so neat, that's so neat. From my other experience, when there was a new person there, or they'll say, it's her first day, and they will all just go in and just give compliments and affirm that person, just kind of making them feel comfortable. So it was a possibility that was either her first day or her first week. But I'm just saying, for $350, I was the wrong head for her to get on. But it worked out. I ain't gonna worry about it. It worked out. I will also say this. With this being the third building, I'm going to just be honest. I love when businesses grow. But I think that the customer service and just the hospitality and how you do work shouldn't change. I would say this probably, with all of my other visits being good, this was probably my least favorite. On top of that, this is a new building there. This is their third building. The third building did not have any air. They had fans everywhere, and even with the fans, it was so stuffy in there. I was literally sweating in there. And I won't say sweating, my face was like like I was hot. I wasn't comfortable. I would put it like that. They had little small portable fans everywhere, and I was just thinking, I said, man, I hope the system, like the sockets don't blow out from all these fans on top of all this other stuff. It was hot in there. And even with them having a little portable fan that was in our section, one of the people that was braiding the hair had it on her. And I just had to pray through that, because I will say this, with me spontaneously wanting to get my hair braided, it wasn't enough time for me to go to my local people that I usually go to, or people at certain shops, because they can only take so many at a certain time. Not only that, I went like in the midday, like 2 o'clock. So it was just different stipulations that avoided me from being able to go to the local people that I already support and go to, or going to a shop where I think it was like in the middle of the day and they probably was ending their day. So I wasn't able to do that. But overall, I do notice that the service is not as good as it used to be. So I remember the last time I went, one time I took my daughter Cassie to get her hair braided. And when I went back the second time to get long Senegalese twists in the blonde, they was asking me, because I think they remember me from that video, and they was like, oh, you the one with the daughter with the long hair? And I was like, yeah. They was like, oh yeah, we saw your video and all this different stuff. Now then, I had black hair and I had long hair. I will say that I have cut all my hair off and I had color, and I wasn't like, I wasn't finna like, oh, I'm the one that did that. I wasn't finna do that. But whether they know who the person is or not, I just think that your customer service and your hospitality should always be the same. Even though this is my first time not having a good experience, just the overall, like with the new building, with it being hot, if that's the place where now they sending you to, I don't know if their air don't work, even with how their situation, because my thing with it was, I'm real a stickler for presentation. So I need my hair to be on point. So yeah, there was 10 braids, but I was willing to sit there and let you do those 10 braids over. But I was like, that's obviously not an option. But like, when people paying their money, it's one thing that price was what it was. But after I got my mind that I want what I want it today, like, you can't expect people just to be okay with half done, because I think if I wouldn't have said nothing and spoke up about those braids that she did do, the back of my head would have looked just like this one, or it's like these braids right here going up the side, pieces of my hair. It's enough hair out of one of these braids that I know, I'm not a professional braider, but I know how to braid, that hair could have been tucked. So I'm also an honest person with integrity. I'm gonna give you my good reviews. I'm gonna give you the bad ones too. But chances are, I don't know, I really have to have a change of heart. But as of right now, I won't be returning back to Billy Braids. I'll probably stick with my locals that I already go to. I'm probably going to have to suck it up, set my appointment, and wait until their availability, because, the prices are already steep. I'd rather give that to somebody who I know their work is good, they're consistent, their customer service doesn't change. I'm not going to be in there hiding stuffy and uncomfortable. So that picture that I posted, the one that was standing over here, that's the one that was doing the sides. She was good. Like, she was quiet. She was listening to her music. She was doing what she did. It was on point. But it was the one that was right there that looks like she was new. I don't know. And then another thing kind of had me a little like, okay, what's going on? She asked for some more hair from the lady that gets the hairs from the back when you were running out. And so the lady was like, I can only give you one bag of hair. She was like, give me 2 bags of hair. So the lady said, look, when you're ready for your second bag, I'm just going to bring it to you. So she said, why do you, why you just won't bring it out to me now or something like that? And the lady said, well, some of the people, we're bringing them the hair and they're having a lot of hair left over and they're taking it home instead of returning it. And while they're doing my hair, I'm just like, this is so unprofessional. Like, I mean, I'm sure that probably is happening, but there was nothing that I would be saying in front of a customer. So I don't know. This visit was very different to where I know, even though I've had some great experience, the other ones were great. I'm going to probably be trying some other braiding places. So that's what happened with it. Now, I will say this, baby, because of my short hair, I probably won't be getting any more after this because, baby, that lady braided my thoughts. My hair, I'm going to show the picture again of how long my hair was. I feel like when you got to grip the hair real hard and tight like that is when you really don't have no hair. But I had enough left that, baby, the first day these braids was so tight. Oh, my goodness, they were so tight. I didn't sleep much. I did take some pain relievers. It was so tight, baby. I said, So I say all that to say this was not the most pleasant experience. I don't know if I'll be returning. I don't know. I might not. I might give it a try at another one. Which I was advised to do that anyway. I should have listened. I did, though. I would encourage you to bring your own parting combs and your own, what's it called? The edge control. You know, they be double dipping. And I was advised, too, that the combs and stuff, they don't, like, wash them and clean them. So I did bring my own rat tail comb and my own, what is it called? Edge control, and told her to use it on my hair only. And then I brought more than one rat tail comb so that when they have multiple people on your hair, I had one for each one. And it was enough of that gel that they can get a big glog out. You share that one, but as long as you're using the one that I brought and not the one that y'all dip with everybody. So there's that. Oh, yeah, and I forgot. Even though my experience, what it was, I still made sure I tipped both of them. I was being obedient to what I heard, and I tipped them. And to show that she knows she didn't do what she needed to, she was like, oh, she was like, oh, for me? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, oh, I thought you didn't like it. And I was like, no, it wasn't that I didn't like it. I just like my parts to be, I like my parts to be straight. But after I brought it to your attention, the rest of the parts you did straight. Maybe there wasn't nobody but Holy Spirit. I just had to go ahead and be obedient. He said, tip her, still tip her. And I'm like, man. Because to me, I'm like, tip, out, in my head. But I was obedient and I tipped her. And like I said, her response for when I gave it to her, she knows she didn't necessarily deserve it. But once I tipped her, I feel like she heard me out then on what I was saying. Like, look, all I wanted was my parts, right? All I want my hair to be on point, especially what I'm paying for. But once I brought it to your attention, the rest of them you did straight. Because just think about that. If I would have said nothing, all them parts would have been crazy back there because I couldn't see it. But yeah, I just had to make sure I let you know, yes, I did tip her. I tipped both of them, actually. I tipped both of them. And the hairstyle is now presentable. Up here, what people going to see if they see me? It's good. I'm going to keep it up. I'm going to get my money's worth, too. I'm washing these. I'm keeping these in.